I have yet to meet somebody who tells me that they resent the fact that they decluttered something, or they regret spending time reorganizing or slimming down a space in their home. Holidays are one of the most important times of the year for us to feel proud of and good in our spaces. And many times you guys or friends and family members of mine will send me DMs or texts and they'll say, I just decluttered my basement and I feel so good. And it's kind of nice, like you can use me as the person who gets really excited for you when you declutter, although you should also feel excited. And hey, I would encourage you to do that anytime. If you ever need any motivation, you can always send me a DM. I'll be very proud of you. But around holiday time, there's so much going on. There's a lot of stuff coming into our house, and we really want to make sure that we're priming our homes, our spaces, and ourselves for being in receipt of all of this stuff. So in this video, I want to show you different ways that you can declutter or rethink organization in your home so that when you do have people and things and stuff coming into your home, you can feel good about it, you can feel sane, and you can feel organized. And just a quick reminder, if you haven't done so already, to subscribe to the Clean My Space channel. Remember to turn on that notification bell so you always know when one of our videos are coming out, and give this video a thumbs up if you are looking forward to a holiday break just like me. One of the biggest challenges to getting started with decluttering or revamping a space is figuring out where to start. So if you're feeling that way, here's a great thing to do. Find all of the items that you want to focus on, for example, throw pillows or pens or spices, and group them all together. Go all over your house, get every one of that item together in the room, on the floor, in a pile. The amount of stuff that you have will probably overwhelm you. You'll be very surprised to know that you have that much of that particular item. But what it does, first of all, it gives you the opportunity to be really honest with what you have. That way you remember when you go out and you're shopping and you see a BOGO sale that you definitely don't need another one, let alone another two of those. Second of all, it allows you to sort through and pick out the very best so you can get rid of the stuff that you don't love or you don't need anymore. You can move on from it or donate it. And finally, if you do need all of those things, it at least gives you the opportunity to find an effective way to organize them. Prior to Riley being born, I would get asked all the time about dealing with kids' books and toys and artwork and how to manage that clutter. And I could only give you my best advice at that time, but since having a child who's now almost 2, I am living that life. I know what you mean. The amount of artwork and crafts and stickers and stuff that float around the house that can just pile up and make a mess is crazy. Not to mention the books that were really in yesterday but not so in today, and those toys that seem to be very exciting 6 or 8 months ago but actually have no use. It is very easy for kid stuff to pile up. That said, keeping the stuff that you have out for your kids slim, I find best. And I've also been doing a lot of research, this is more on a personal note, where I've seen that less toys, less books are actually better because it challenges your kids to be bored and be creative. So I'm now of the mind where I like to have less toys and less stuff for Riley to play with and let her be a little bored, let her find ways to be creative. That said, when it comes to arts and stickers and those kinds of things, I would say to keep the relevant items, for example, the pages of stickers with actual stickers on them, once they are mostly exhausted, they need to go. Anything that's been colored on, you know, Riley's a great kid. I don't need to keep all of her colorings and the things that she's put stickers on, so we just kind of go through that after she goes to bed and we chuck it out. So we never have a burgeoning pile of stuff that no one really is going to ever need or benefit from in the future. Same thing goes with other crafts. You know, it's fun to make the craft. That's the experience, but once the craft is made, it's okay to move on from it. With books and toys, the same thing goes. You wanna look at the thing, the book or the toy, and say, is my kid using this today? Have they used it in the past little bit? Will they use it in the foreseeable future? There are things that Riley used, you know, a year ago or 6 months ago that she's just too advanced for at this point. So what we do is we bag those up. I give a lot of those toys to my sister. We will just share toys and things back and forth until we're done having our children. And I will also move on from things that I actually don't see any value in and that I don't want to pass on to my sister. I'll just donate those as well. So always be mindful of what the needs of your family are in that moment. Not, oh, they used to like this. and they might need this in the future. It's like, what do we need now? What do we have to keep out here now? Otherwise, your house will be overrun with kid stuff. For the record, I am not somebody who would go out and buy a thematic serving dish. That is not my style. My sister-in-laws, they're all about it. So it all depends on who you are and what your personality is. That said, single-use stuff like Christmas-specific serving dishes or salt and pepper shakers, that can really take up a lot of space in your kitchen, especially if you're only bringing it out once a year. So if you are that kind of person who has all kinds of like a Thanksgiving dish or a Christmas dish or a, other sort of themed holiday serving piece, I would ask you this. First of all, do you use it every holiday? Does it have a story behind it? If so, keep it, use it. But if not, if you just kind of have it because you got it as a Secret Santa gift or you got it on sale or, it came to you some way, somehow, and you don't really need it, I would say just to get rid of it because you probably have other things that you can use in your house as an alternative. If you are somebody who does like to have that stuff around, here's what I suggest. Box it up like the day after the holiday and put it in the same space every year. That way, everything in its place and a place for everything. You know exactly where to find it when the time comes. And then when you're done using it, you can just box it up and you don't have to look at it for the rest of the year, and it doesn't mix itself into the rest of the stuff in your kitchen, which would lead to clutter, the feeling of overwhelm, and potentially the feeling of disorganization. When you're having guests come over, one space they will use for sure is the bathroom. Whether it's your master bathroom, the guest bathroom, or just the one bathroom you have in the home, think about your guest's impression of that teeny tiny space. Now, if you have the luxury of having a powder room, that's great because typically those aren't too cluttered. Even still, there are some good general practices for bathrooms when it comes to prepping them for guests as it pertains to clutter. First and foremost, you want to make sure there's not much going on the counters. People can feel weirded out or uncomfortable, like touching things that they feel maybe they shouldn't be touching or they shouldn't be looking at. So just take away all the mystery for them, put a soap pump on there, maybe a bottle of hand cream, and be done with it. Make sure that you have some nice, clean towels, extra toilet paper. For goodness sakes, have a toilet plunger there for them so they don't have to have that embarrassing story about the Christmas party at your house that one time. And you also want to make sure that there's nothing weird under sink cupboards that you wouldn't necessarily want people seeing. For us, in our guest bathroom, it's all bath toys. I don't care. You want to see what Riley's playing with? Go for it. But if there were other things like medications, like maybe I don't want to have that under there. So just be mindful, keep it neat, organized. And then of course, the less you have in the bathroom, the easier it is to clean and keep clean, especially for those quick in-between cleans right before people come by. When you hear the word decluttering, it could almost be a trigger word sometimes. I feel like it stresses people out, but here's the thing. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to get rid of everything in sight. It could just mean that you find a good organization strategy for some of the things in your home that feel out of place. It could also mean getting rid of stuff. Whatever it means to you, that's what I'm encouraging you to do this holiday season. But by the way, if you are getting rid of certain things and you're not sure the most responsible way to get rid of them, I'll give you a few tips here. Linens, blankets, pillows, towels. Pet shelters love that kind of stuff, so you can take it there. Cleaning supplies, pet shelters also love those too. We did a whole bunch of cleaning supplies. We dropped a whole bunch of those off at a pet shelter and they were like, thank you. Electronics, I take all of mine to Best Buy. They have a great recycling program, so you don't have to worry about the right way to effectively recycle wires or keyboards. They deal with all of that for you. Same thing goes with clothing. If you're not somebody who wants to consign your clothing or donate your clothing to a secondhand shop, you can also take your clothes to a textile recycling bin. In my community, we have them in several locations, and many clothing retailers will actually take your clothes back and give you a discount on a future purchase. And that brings me to this week's comment question, which is, the holidays are here. And I want to know in the comments down below, what is your favorite holiday food? What are you most looking forward to eating? For me, it's potato latkes, because in my family we celebrate Hanukkah, and that just brings up all kinds of good memories. And with applesauce or sour cream, honestly, I just don't think it gets any better. I also really love my sister-in-law. My sister doesn't make turkey. My sister-in-law does for Christmas, her turkey and cranberry sauce. Love that. So let me know in the comments down below. Is it like a meat dish, a side dish, a veg? Like, what do you love? A cookie? Let me know in the comments down below. If you want to see what we're up to during the rest of the week, you can follow along on Instagram. I'm at Melissa Maker Chad. is at the Chad Reynolds, and the two of us are at Clean My Space. If you like the Clean My Space channel and you want to support what we do, an easy way to do that is just to watch another video right after this one. And here are a couple I think you might love. If you want to learn more about Maker's clean microfiber cloths, you can click this button right over here. There is a button down there that lets me know you care, so click it if you liked this video, and click this button right here to subscribe and begin your journey to a cleaner life. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.